Hello there. Hello, everyone. Today, we have our first segment here of Triple Scoop, and we have a very exciting one. I know Andy in particular is very excited. We're going to be talking Star Wars. Actually, in all of my time here at Triple Scoop, I don't think we have ever talked about Star Wars.
I don't think so
Which
either.
is very surprising because of the huge fan following that Star Wars has. So Nolan, you want to flip this board over with me? We can get right into it. I know all the Star Wars are eagerly, all the Star Wars fans are eagerly waiting. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Star Wars! Look at it, man. All right, so where do we begin here? So, it's Major League Baseball season coming up, so I figured, why not tie in a little bit of two very popular pastimes, watching Star Wars. America's favorite pastime is baseball, after all. And Andy, look what are you doing up there?
He has the Force!
He has the Force! Like, how did you get up there? It's almost like we planned that. This is crazy. So anyway,
Which one's the real one?
I don't know. I can't really tell.
I don't know. That one.
Sith Lord. The Sith Lord. We got a Sith Lord behind the camera. I don't know if you guys can
Oh,
tell,
no.
but Sith Lord Benicio. I don't know, guys. It's getting pretty crazy in here. But before we get into anything, look at these drawings. I think they are A+. We can get a close-up of that board. Just look at the detail. Like, it's like literally almost as if you took a carbon copy of Annie, just put it.
It's actually a mirror
on
up
the board.
there.
Yeah, I thought so. I was getting confused.
I think it's absolutely incredible. And guys, before I even get into anything else, can we just all get a round of applause for my amazing drawing of the Millennium Falcon? Fun fact, I went to art school for 3 years. That is not a joke. Yes, that is the Millennium Falcon. That is not a joke. I went to art school for 3 years.
Are you sure?
I'm dead serious, from my mouth to God's ears. But anyways, guys, it's baseball season. Let's get right into it. We're going to be starting with my personal favorite team, near and dear to my heart, the New York Yankees. Now, you may be wondering, give it a round of applause. You may be wondering, why are the Yankees the good guys here? Well, everyone considered the Yankees to be the evil empire for a very long time. Yeah, he's just a Met fan.
Well, the Sith Lord is...
Well, the Sith Lord is a Met fan.
Sith Lord, get over here.
True.
Sith Lord, come in the shot real quick.
The Sith Lord.
Sith Lord is coming.
The Sith Lord is coming.
Oh my gosh. The Mets.
The New York Metropolitans.
Oh no,
are
it's the
actually
Sith Lord. I'm
He's
scared.
the Sith Lord.
It's the Sith Lord.
It's okay.
Force choke you.
But anyways, guys, so yes, we have a Sith Lord working on camera, but everyone considered to be the Yankees, the evil empire, for a very long time. But as you can see, they really haven't been that good recently. 2017, they lost to the Astros in the playoffs. 2018, they lost to the Red Sox. 2019, they lost to the Astros again. 2020, they lost to the Rays. 2021, we lost to the Red Sox again. 2022, you would think maybe we can beat the Astros this time. Nope. They lose to the Astros again. And then 2023, you would think, surely they've lost in the playoffs all these times. You'd think they would make it into the playoffs, but no. They actually were only 2 games above 500.
But the Astros, it's a little controversial, I hear.
They are, and that is why we have Emperor Palpatine here. Do you like my drawing, Andy?
Yeah, it's
Great,
great,
right?
Does it
That
say
is-
midget?
Huh?
Does that say midget?
Yeah, he's
doesn't.
kind of short,
Okay, I
and
was
he's
just checking.
mirrored off of Jose Altuve, the mighty midget. He's literally a garden gnome that can hit 30 home runs a season, who can bat
Is
300.
that his nickname for real?
Mighty midget. I've heard people call him that before.
On the
yes.
Astros?
Dead serious,
Okay.
I called him a midget before.
yeah. He's like
thought you were
5'7"
talking
and can
about
hit
me.
30 home runs a season.
What's wrong with being 5'7"?
Nothing wrong with that. Well, he's hit 30 home runs.
5'5".
I think he's hit 30 home runs a season. That's besides the point. The Astros are the bad guys, all right? They've cheated before, and I'm sick of losing to them.
Boo.
I'm tired of it. But anyways, guys, you're going to like my pun, I hope. We have a new hope.
Oh my God.
We have a new hope. Obi-Wan Soto has arrived.
Yes.
He's here. For years, I've clamored for this guy to be a New York Yankees. I was like, God, please, give this team left-handed power hitting. And my goodness, do they have it. They have Juan Soto, 3-time All-Star, batting title, World Series champion. The list goes on. He should have won an MVP, but was robbed in 2020. The talent is there. Jedi Aaron Judge, Obi-Wan Soto, taking on the Death Star.
With their Jedi Master
Jedi Master.
at the top.
Jedi Master Michael Freeman. with the evil Death Star that has become the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that is just loaded with talent. Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto.
Freeman?
Yes.
That's the
Another
Jedi
Freeman?
Master.
I know, but there's multiple Freeman.
There's two Freeman?
There are two
This
Freeman.
is getting out of hand.
I know.
Now there are two of them.
There's two of them. I know it can be very confusing, guys, but you gotta roll with me. Gotta roll with the punches here because I've been rolling with it clearly for about 8 years, too long. Kershaw, Will Smith, the list goes on. Yes, there is a baseball player named Will Smith. Before you say anything,
I wasn't gonna say it.
oh, I thought you were, but there is. He's actually very good at baseball. But
He's good at hits too.
yeah,
All types. All types.
that's crazy. But yes, Jedi Aaron Judge, Obi-Wan Soto, invading the Death Star this year, taking it down for World Series Championship 28. I am sick and tired of the losing. It's going to happen this year.
No, it was kind of a question.
Well, what's your question?
Instead of doing Obi-Wan Soto, why don't
Yeah.
we do Obi-Wan Kenobi?
What are you talking about?
What are you?
Obi-Wan Soto. Why
Alright.
don't we do Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I don't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi
I
is.
only know an Obi-Wan Soto, bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? King Coles, I know you have surely a couple of questions. I mean, you're a Star Wars enthusiast. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job at really tying the two
Oh yeah,
together.
it's amazing. Well, you know that the Yankees, they do their yearly Star Wars.
They do.
Yeah.
I actually have.
I used to go every year
This is actually
to the Star Wars.
this is
Yeah,
actually
they used
the
to do it.
advertisement for it.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I thought he was talking
Yeah, we're
about.
getting paid by the New York Yankees for this, by the way. Fun fact, I actually have like a little Jedi Aaron Judge.
bobblehead?
Like
Yeah,
bobblehead.
yeah.
It's like really cool. It's like him like
This year, Jedi King Coles.
Jedi King Kong. Yeah, that's gonna be the bobblehead. Basically the first 10,000 fans that show up to the stadium are just gonna get this.
The first 10,000 views on here.
Yeah, you get a free limited time edition Jedi King Coles. And then
At
if
least
you
my
come
neck is
really
right this
early,
time.
if you come really early, if you're like the first like 500 viewers, you will also get an honorary Sith Lord Benicio T-shirt.
I want that autographed.
You want an autograph?
Benicio.
I mean, you drew it, so if anything, you should sign it. But do you want to? What
I
are
feel
you
like he's
doing?
looking into my soul.
Oh, okay. But guys, I mean, I'm very excited for this baseball season. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And hopefully, if you did not familiar with baseball earlier, maybe tying it to Star Wars can help you get a better understanding of what's been happening so far. But anyways,
Don't
that
get
is
it
going-
twisted. This is Triple Scoop,
yes.
and we will be back after this.
Greetings, fellow Pokemon trainers and Pokemon fans, and welcome back to the world of Triple Scoop. I'm Chloe, and I'm here with Andrew, Dean, and Bella, bunch of fellow Pokemon fans here on the set of Triple Scoop. And guys, there's a new game coming out, and we're going back to Gen 6, back to Kalos.
Yes!
Pokemon Legends ZA just got announced. Well, was it last week, 2 weeks ago on Pokemon Day? Mm-hmm. Guys, what are your thoughts? How excited are we right now?
I'm very excited because it's like, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I am more of a recent Pokemon fan. I started with Let's Go Pikachu, so I kind of missed out on a lot of the Pokemon hype, but I'm excited to go to Kalos and see a new perspective of Kalos.
I bring a totally different impression. I've been playing Pokemon since I want to say I was 4. It's on a Game Boy and stuff like that. So I've seen the whole growth of Pokemon. I did want to see a Unova remake. I love me some Black and
we
White.
all did.
That's
We
That's
Yeah,
all
what
I
did.
saw
everyone
it
was
too.
thinking
It's what I thought
about
was
because
coming.
like Nintendo and Pokemon kept posting like Unova stuff on
Yeah.
Twitter.
It didn't come, but I mean, regardless, I'm very satisfied with X and Y, especially because I thought they were going to release Z after, kind of like they did
Like a third
Diamond,
game,
Pearl, then
yeah.
Platinum.
A third
They
edition.
did Emerald after Ruby and Sapphire, and then it just never happened.
Gold,
so
silver, crystal.
Exactly.
Like it's just
yeah.
like customary for them to release 2 main series games and then like a third special edition after the fact. And
Like
then,
a definitive.
yeah.
Yeah, they stopped doing that a while ago, but
Yeah, they started doing DLC with Sword and Shield.
yeah. But like Dean, Pokemon has been part of my life since like I was 5.
Yeah.
And this new game, I am very excited for it. I do have a theory that
I
I'm
need
gonna,
to
Yes.
hear
I'm gonna
this.
run this
we
by
got
you.
we got a
I
couple
have one
theories
too.
here. I'm
So,
ready to
okay,
hear.
we're going back to COLES.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if you remember from X and Y, when you get to the end of the game, there's like this reveal that there was this huge battle 1,000 years ago,
Yeah.
and this guy, his name was Az,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes and you learn all about him. So if it's a Legends game and it goes back in time like the other Legends Arceus, does that mean that we're going to be back when that Pokemon War takes place? Now I heard some people say no, some people say yes, just because of the way the trailer was, how it looked futuristic, and it was like a building plan for Lumio City. So maybe it could be after that battle takes place. Now we're rebuilding the city and making it what we see in X and Y.
Ooh. I love that. And like,
That
cause
And
Yeah.
that's why it's like
so
ZA.
good.
Yeah,
Because
ZA.
the A is
Yeah.
Az and the Z goes with Zygarde.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
interesting.
that. I think that's really cool because like there's been like multiple hints at a Pokemon war ever since like Red and Blue with like
Yeah.
Lieutenant Surge, where it was like, oh, my Pokemon saved me from the war, and
He's
that's
literally
the only.
like
Yeah,
he's a
and
veteran.
like, a
He's a war veteran.
But that's the only time outside of this that an actual war with Pokemon were fought. So I think that's really
Right, and
interesting.
it's because it's like humans versus Pokemon.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that's like,
Yeah.
what do you do in that
exactly.
sense? Like, that's kind
Feels
of
a little overpowered, but
It- Kinda. It's like a, how did it go? Like 100 lions or something versus like a Pokemon or something. I don't fully remember, but it's like something along those
All
lines.
I know is if they had Benicio on their team, the humans would have won that war. The Pokemon would have been
Yeah.
eliminated.
Not a
Eliminated,
chance.
and that's
destroyed.
it. There would have been no more Pokemon. They
But yeah,
just would have been
Dean,
gone.
Dean, I heard you had a theory. Is yours any similar to?
not really. It's actually totally different.
Oh.
So remember how in Legends Arceus it was kind of like the invention of like the Pokeball, how
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
very new.
And like the Pokédex too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in X and Y, there is the Pokeball factory. And that was a
yeah.
very underutilized area of the game. There was like that huge desert you saw in the background with just nothing there. And I
Right.
remember
Yeah.
people were like theorizing, well, what does this mean? I remember there was like Volcanion also dropped. Was that Gen 7 or Gen? I think it was Gen 6.
I think it was 6.
But it was like an event
Yeah.
Pokemon, so it was
Yeah,
like
nothing
weird.
to
kind
do
of
with the
DLC.
story.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was in like a kind of like a mountain terrain, like heated area, and they just did nothing with that. And then they have the Pokeball factory. So I was thinking like, maybe they can do something with
That's
that.
good, too.
It depends though if it's
Maybe.
like in the future or the past though.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's the big
that's-
question.
Another thing with that trailer was like that there was like a symbol on the top. It was like, is that like the Galactic like?
Yeah,
team
is
from
that
the-
Team Galactic or
or
not?
the
Team
ones
Flare.
that-
Team Flare.
No,
Yeah,
like
Team-
or like the past version of them, like
Oh, like the
Oh.
from
Foundation.
Arceus, like
Yeah.
the Galactic people that made.
True.
So it's
Yeah.
like
But yeah, I think that's the biggest debate of this whole thing is where is it going to be set? Because looking at, Legends Arceus, that game literally being set like so many years in the past, like the foundations of Jubilife City and even like, the study of Pokemon themselves versus now looking at the trailer with the whole blueprint thing and
Yeah.
Kalos being more of like a futuristic setting almost from the Gen 6 games. But I think the biggest question that I have is it going to be kind of not focused, but formatted like the same way that Legends Arceus was with like this, open world, like same sort of battle style versus like, your traditional RPG.
I feel like it has to be because they're giving it that Legends title.
Yeah.
So anything that falls under that,
Has to fit
technically they're
that.
spin-off games.
They
They're
are.
not main series,
They-
so they
yeah.
have to follow that format.
Which I think is interesting that they're using this opportunity to, instead of making Pokemon Z as a main series game, taking it almost underneath that spin-off series title. But
There's also the aspect of, okay, it's Pokemon Z, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be learning about Zygarde a lot.
yeah.
Yes. Even like the Zygarde cells that
Yeah.
like
They-
there was the whole thing where it's like you go around and collecting these Zygarde
Yeah.
cells in Gen 7 though. So it's like why is
So
Zygarde in the
much-
game? Like
So much
what
of that,
purpose?
like, Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde, like, there's so many, like, opened ends that were left off in Gen 6. So it's finally, like, we're getting that closure that we need with this game of, like, okay, are they going to touch on that Pokeball factory and that whole thing? Like, is AZ actually, or has, excuse me, actually going to have like, I'm thinking like a ZA, but it's just like, you know, is he going to actually get his storyline that we need and some more elaboration on that? And then also, huge point we haven't touched on yet, Megas are back.
Yeah.
Megas are
Thank
back. Probably
goodness.
the greatest gimmick in the Pokemon franchise. Like,
Yep.
had it in Gen 6. I don't even know if it was in Gen 7 at all.
It
No.
was.
It was?
It was
was.
post game. It was
Yeah.
like, it was mainly just for like competitive.
Yeah.
Like, it was
I
in the
know it was-
game.
I know it was definitely in Let's Go Pikachu, although I have this
Yes.
habit with a lot of games. I kind of fall off it real quick, so I never
Yeah.
got to I never was able to like do Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, but it was the whole focus of it was in X and Y, this new thing, Megas, and then it was huge. It's a phenomenal gimmick, and then it dropped, and it has not been back in years. So when I saw that Mega symbol appear at the end of the trailer, and
That
I
was
heard the
tough.
noise, I like got out of my bed and I screamed. I was like,
Oh yeah, I was like, I was in my car because I had missed the initial the initial broadcast because I had a class. I was just like sitting there in my car. I was just like, oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, but I'm sure we're all super excited, and many other Poke fans around the world are screaming in joy and excitement over this new game. But we'll have to wait until I think 2025 for it to come out. But until then, we're gonna keep playing Pokemon, being fans, staying super excited, and speculating what's gonna happen. So in the meantime, we'll catch you around in our next segment here on Triple Scoop.
Welcome back to Triple Scoop and our infamous whiteboard segment. I'm Megan.
And I'm Bryn.
We are joined by Luca, Scott, and Benicio. We are going to be teaching them a little bit of the lore with The Bachelor Season 28. Gentlemen, how familiar are you with The Bachelor?
So I would say, from what I know, there's one guy, it's a lot of girls. He finds his wife. It's like a Cinderella story, and they live happily ever after, every time.
Good start.
Yeah,
Good
you know
start.
what? You got the gist of
Okay.
it. So, our Bachelor this season, Joey. He's a nice Italian boy from Philly. He went to Westchester, president of Pike, also a communications major. So, look at that. He would love Hawk TV. And
he
he
would.
is a tennis coach. He lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and he did private lessons for tennis.
So, how did he get on the show?
He was on the previous season of The Bachelorette. Charity, she was the Bachelorette, sorry. And she did not pick him, so that's why he's here today.
So, how exactly did he fumble the bag with her?
You know, I think you should just watch that season maybe. And you can answer that question for yourself.
So, does he got any riz? Like, from watching
He
this?
does.
He
has
does.
crazy Riz. Not as much Riz as you, but he does have Riz.
So, what type of riz does he got?
Well, he bagged these four lovely ladies here. So Bryn, would you take it away with that?
Yes, so these are the final four right now. We have Daisy, sweetheart. Everyone loves her. We have Kelsey, she's really great. She's from New Orleans. Then we have Maria, she's a little firecracker, but she's a good time. And then we have Rachel, who is a nursing student, and I believe she's from Hawaii as well.
Yes, yeah. So they have that sort of like connection with that.
there, yeah.
Daisy is also partially deaf. She has a cochlear implant.
Yes.
So that's a big story for her. And these are the final four. These who, on the last episode, we have just seen their hometowns. So we have over here a little bit of like Bachelor lingo. Hometowns is the final four. They go to the hometowns, they meet the family. Joey, the Bachelor, usually asks for the blessing to marry them, but he doesn't always ask them to marry him. So it's that's kind of problematic. Are we understanding so far?
Do we know like who's in the lead? Like is there any way to tell, or you have to just wait?
Kind of. You can kind of see who he likes the most. Right now, it's definitely between Daisy and Kelsey.
100%.
Yes.
What makes you say that? Like, what does he act differently around them than he does around Maria
Yeah.
and Rachel?
100%.
Definitely. And you can see the connections also just on camera.
What is it that makes them click?
It just, when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
He met all the families for all these
He
women?
did. He met
Four
all four of them.
families.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd they feel about him? Like, for the most part, did they like him? Did any families, like, not like him?
For the most part, they all loved him because he's a nice guy. He's a nice
Yeah.
guy. But Rachel's family was a little hesitant just because of the whole process, really. You know, not a traditional way to meet someone through a show.
So was Maria's. Maria's dad was
Oh.
very protective of her.
Very.
Maria's dad was giving like the Godfather, like
Oh, 100%.
old Italian,
Yes.
Italian and Greek. Like they had like the mafia music going in the background.
But he still gave his blessing.
He did. He did
There
give
you
his
go.
blessing for
So-
Maria. However, spoiler alert: if you have not watched
Yes.
the last episode, Maria booted.
What?
She's done. She's out. So now we are on to the final three: Daisy, Kelsey, and Rachel, which will go on to fantasy suites. Fantasy suites are the first time there's no cameras. They spend overnight together to talk and do other things when cameras are not on. And then the final rose will go to one of them.
Wait, so the fantasy suites, is it like one day Joey goes with Daisy,
Yep.
they network, and then the next day he
Network.
goes with Kelsey, they network, and the next day they go with Rachel. But it's like day after day after day, or is it like weekend? Because it's like, I don't know. It's kind of
No, it's typically day after day after
okay.
day, which like that's the best way to network, I would say.
And is it different places or it's always the same place that they go
This
to?
year they're going to Tulum, Mexico,
Oh, okay.
to network in the fantasy
Yeah,
suites.
yeah.
Of course.
So really good networking vibes, really great place to connect. But there was some drama, obviously, during the season, particularly between Maria and Sydney. Sydney ganged up on Maria, started spreading rumors throughout all the girls saying Maria was bullying people. This was not true.
Not true.
So
Not true.
Joey and the producers collaborated to create a little bit of drama, set these two up on a 2-on-1 date, which is over here.
On a boat.
On a boat.
Set them off.
Yes. And in Bachelor World, 2-on-1 dates means either one of them is going home or both of them are going home. So they set them up on the 2-on-1 date. They were pissed the entire time. Joey was not happy to be there, but ultimately sent Sydney home.
Yes.
Yep. And Leia was also another one of the instigators. Her and Sydney kind of teamed up on Maria together, but they're both gone. Maria's now gone too, but she made it farther. So
why
good
did
for
they
her.
Any-
both like team up on Maria? Did Maria like do them wrong?
I think they
means
were
or anything?
intimidated by her because Maria's very straight to the point,
Okay.
just herself
Yes.
completely, and I think that scared them a little bit because once Sydney was gone, we're like, okay, problem's gone. And Leah, like another
Yeah.
one, just ganging up on her.
Yeah, Maria's very confident, very,
Yes.
very blunt. But
Except
you know,
when it comes to Joey, though, she was not the best at explaining her feelings towards him, which
Yes.
I wonder might have been
Could
the
be her
reason.
dad. She might be a little more favorable to that Godfather-esque father of
so
hers,
true.
That is
as
true.
opposed to Joey.
Maybe he was intimidated by the father.
He definitely, I would
I
have
would've
been.
been,
I
yeah.
personally would have been. But Maria, good news for her, she is kind of the front runner for the next season of The Bachelorette. Everybody wants to see Maria.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Do you
I would
think
love
her
to see
dad
her
will
too.
let her though?
I think he would.
I think so.
She makes great television, I will say.
She really does.
Phenomenal.
She's got a personality.
So what are your guys' thoughts so far on all of this? Do you have any questions?
I don't know. I feel like I agree with a lot of what you're saying about Maria when you're saying that she's the most authentic person on the show. She seems to have a cool father. I understand that he can be intimidating, but a lot of times those fathers are the best fathers and they make even better grandparents. So I definitely like the idea of Maria getting her own show on The Bachelorette. And I honestly think Joey, he might regret this decision a little bit because him and Maria, I know they share common ancestry, similar cultures. So
Right.
I'm a little surprised he didn't go with Maria. Obviously, I don't know as much about Daisy, Kelsey, and Rachel, but do they have any traits about themselves or things about their family that got Joey interested in them as
They're all-
opposed to
They're
Maria?
all very nice girls, but Maria's definitely a standout,
Yes.
100%.
I guess in like the beginning stages, out of the three that's left, you said Daisy, Kelsey, and Rachel, correct? So who like stood out the most in that like that first interaction, in your opinion?
Daisy.
She got
Okay.
the first
First
one-on-one.
impression, or no, yes.
She got the first
yes.
one-on-one. Leia ended up getting the first, but she's
Yeah,
whatever.
sure.
We don't care about her.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Daisy, I personally think it's going to be Kelsey. Some people say Daisy. Who's to say?
No, I agree. Kelsey
If this
and
was on
Daisy.
DraftKings, who would you guys say?
I'm going with, by the way you're speaking, I'm going with Daisy.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
what I would
all
go
right.
with.
I'm going to bet on Daisy as well. I think that, like you said, that first impression dating back to the early stages, I think that's very important. I think they've built up a lot of chemistry over time. And just out of curiosity, where is Daisy from? What part of the country?
Minnesota, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I feel like she looks exactly like how I expected someone from Minnesota to look. So it might be that opposites attract. Like a tough guy from Philly might attract some soft girl from Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, only time will tell. The finale's in, I think, 3 weeks.
I believe so.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Keep watching The Bachelor. We will see you next time.
So you wanna be a master of Pokemon? Do you have the skills to be #1? I wanna take the ultimate step, find the courage to be Pokemon.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Get off the set.
To risk it all and not forget the lessons that I hold. I wanna go where no one's been, far beyond the crowd. Yeah, learn the way to take command.